All right. Again, why is this harder? Because there's only one angle. Okay? And those are our possibilities. Now, all that is what I'm going to try to show you, but I'm going to try to condense it so it's much easier to review. So this part that I'm going to put up, I will have on the board all the time, and you don't have to memorize it. Does that sound good? Because it is a lot. Now, but you do want to definitely probably try to put it in your notes right now, those of you interested. We're always going to have a triangle. We don't complete the other side because we're not sure, okay? So we'll label this side A, or angle A, so this side is A. We'll label this side B right here, so this is big angle B, and that can change. And of course, big angle C can change, and that's side C. We're also going to bring a leg straight down, which would make this a right triangle, and that would be the height of our particular triangle. Now, a disclaimer is I don't care what my triangle looks like, okay? I might put in here that this is a 110-degree angle. Well, no, it doesn't look like it, and I don't care. I'm more interested in my math of the sides. Is that clear, everybody? So proportion is not going to be a factor. All right, step one. We're going to find that height by using sine of angle A is equal to the opposite, which is my height over my hypotenuse B. Okay, so we're going to find this height right here. We'll make it blue so we feel different. And that height, once we find that height, it's going to help us determine if there are no triangles, one triangle, or two triangles. Okay, our criterion now. If side A is less than the height, there's none, can't make a triangle. If side A is less than height. Now look up here and think about that. If the height was 5, just hypothetically, if the height was 5 and this was 3, could this ever touch this bottom? No, it would just kind of like swing, right? It would never get there. So hence, if A is less than the height, I can't have a triangle. Okay? If A equals H, what do you think? If A equaled H? It's going to be 1. And it's going to be a special kind. Anybody know? If A does equal H, if A and H are equal, what's it going to be? It's going to be a right triangle. And it's 1. But it happens to be a right. If A is just greater than B, if A is greater than B, it'll be 1. So A greater than B, it'll be 1. What's left? 2. To get 2, we need the height to be less than A and A to be less than B. And we'll get 2. How are we doing? The good news, I'm going to leave that for the assessment. I'll leave that up. Is that clear, everybody? You don't have to memorize that because that would be worthless, along with most of this anyways. So I'm sorry to say. What do we call this? Ambiguous case. It only happens when what? When we have side angle. Does that make sense to you? Or angle, side, depending on how you want to think about it. I always think this is an easy way to remember. Personally. All right, here we go. First one. We'll have some fun with this, I hope. we're gonna say side A. I gotta get some color here. Let's go with green. So little a is gonna be 6. Little b is gonna be 4. Angle A is gonna be 72 degrees. So the first step is to find the height and figure out if it's 1, 2, or 3. So let's find the height, everybody. Join in with me, you can. It's just a simple trick. Sine of the angle is opposite over hypotenuse. We'll definitely need to calculate it. You should be getting something, I'm guessing, around 3.8. Anybody 2, 4, 6, 8 generate? Do I need to do more work with that? You're gonna put sine of 72 is equal to, I don't know the height over b, which is 4. So basically you end up with sine of 72 times 4 to get 3.8. Sine of 72 times 4 to get 3.8. Everybody good there? All right. So let's look at it. Is the height greater than A? Is the height greater than A? No, height is not greater than A because the height is 3, 8, and 8. So that will eliminate that. Are they equal? Are A and the height equal? No, it's not a right. Is A, okay, is A greater than or equal to B? Is A greater than B? It is. So guess what? This is one triangle. Okay? Make sense? That's how you're going to do all of these. Now, since it's only one, we'll go ahead and complete this guy out. Let's take this hypotenuse or this height out. I don't need the height anymore. It was only to help me get the information I needed. So I got 72 here. I've got A equaling 6. I've got B equaling 4. And I'm missing 2 angles and 1 side. Now here, what's the only thing, someone impressed me, what's the only thing I can get up there right now with the law of sines? There's only one thing I can solve for. C. How am I going to get little c? I don't have angle C. Angle B is the only thing I can get. Now, we haven't done too many angles, but remember when we solve for an angle, you got to use the inverse. So, all right, so let's go for it here. We're going to have sine of what? 72 over 6 is equal to the sine of B, we don't know that, over 4. You might want to grab your calculators out now. If you need one, there's someone, I got a couple of on the back desk. We're solving for B, my friends. If you're ready to do it, it is sine of 72, hit enter. Times 4, sine of 72 times 4, hit enter. Divide that by 6, correct, right? Now that is the sine of B, but we want the angle, so you're going to go inverse sine of that answer. Inverse sine of that decimal. Second sine of whatever that decimal was. And you should get angle B at, did you say 39? Awesome. You see why that was the only thing we could solve for now? Okay, now we got 2 angles. This thing's a piece of cake to solve for. What's angle C? Subtract from 180, everybody. 180 minus 72 minus 39.
69.
What's that?
69.
There you go. Solving for side C, I'm going to let you do that. It's the law of sines. It's what we did. That's easy. You're just going to set up another ratio and solve for that side. Now, what was different about this one? We solve for an angle, right? Remember, when you get an angle, you got to use the inverse. Okay? How do we do there? Everybody okay? Question at all? Let's try another one. It's kind of fun going backwards. All right, ready for another one? Here is the information. Angle A, 95, B, 4.6, A is 3. So we gotta figure out what, is it one, none, what's going on with it? So find that height. Give you a second, find the height. So that height would be what? Sine of 95 times what? Side B, which is 4.6. Sine of 95 times 4.6 gives me a height of, should be 4.6 or 4.58. Is anybody else generating that? Is that right? 4.58. Sine of 95 times, oh wait, sine of 95 times B. Did I say times 3? Okay, times 4. Is that 4? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so what do we got? Is A, what is A? A is 3. Is the height, which is 4.8, is it greater than A, 3? We're done. How are we done with this one? Because it's impossible, right? If this height is 4.5, this leg is only 3, it's never gonna touch this bottom thing. It's never gonna get there. So this is a none. Questions there? Aha. Well, you can only tell what the next one's gonna be. What is it gonna probably be? Yes, it probably is, so let's take a look. My A is 4.2. My B is 5.7. And my angle A is 39. Now, when that angle A is less than 90, that's when you gotta start thinking about it too. It's a good possibility. Okay, find that height. I got it at 3.58. Anybody close to that? Yeah. So my A, 4.2, my B, 5.7, this is 39 degrees. All right. Is the height greater than A? I'm going right through it. Is the height greater than A? No. Is A equal no? Is A bigger than B? No. Okay, is B greater than A? And is A greater than the height? Okay, so there's 2. Now, here's where it gets a little tricky, so hang in there, folks. Okay? Let's complete the first one. I'll get rid of this. We have everything here. Let's go ahead and complete this first one. What's the only thing I can solve for? Angle B. We already did it once, so do it again. You gotta use your inverse. So the only thing I can solve for is angle B. you should get around 58 degrees. So see if you can't. That would be the sine of B over 5.7 is equal to the sine of 39 over 4.2. You getting 58 there?
How'd you get 58?
I'm going to take sine of 39, hit enter, times 5.7, hit enter, divided by 4.2, hit enter, and then you want the inverse sign of that decimal to get you 58. Inverse sign. You're finding an angle, so you need the inverse. Anybody get, I'm right? Everybody get 58? Okay, we can finish this one out. Let's at least put angle C in. You can get side C on your own. Angle C is 83. Does everybody feel comfortable with that one? Okay, now here's the tricky part. Okay, finding the other one. The other one, all it has to do is with this other angle B. We know there's two, right? Well, anytime there's two, you're gonna have a new B, and that B is gonna be equal to 180 minus 58. 180 minus 58 is my second B. Who's got it for me? 180 minus 58 is? 122. Now, I'll try to sketch this in what it's gonna look like, okay? Now, I'm looking like that. I know it's kind of small up there. This is your A, this is your new B, and you're gonna have a new C. Across from your A is still 4.2. Across from your B is still 5.7. This is still 39. But angle B, we just discovered is, the second one is what? 122. I can't quite fit it in there, so I'm gonna put it right here. That is 122. Well, angle C is pretty easy, right? 122 and 39 add up to be whatever, and angle C, I think I got it at 19 degrees, angle C. I'm not gonna continue on to finish side C, you can get it, right? That's just law of sines. Now let's review back. Why? Why did we have two here? Well, because it fit this criterion. Once I know that, I find the first angle B, I take 180 minus that angle. Is that clear? You see how I made the second one? It's going to be bigger, so I just kind of made it a little bit more realistic for you to see what's happening there. All we're really doing is the length of 4.2, instead of going 4.2 this way, we just brought 4.2 back this way. Make sense? And there's your second angle. 4.2 was long enough, smaller than the height, so we could go on this end, and then go on this end, because what's changing is the length of side C, the length of angle B, and the length and the size, or excuse me, the size of angle B and the size of angle C. So there's your three possibilities. I will have this for you. You won't have to memorize it. How does that feel, everybody? Okay. You have 4 problems to do. That's it. Just 4 problems. And that is on page 962. And it is 10 through 13. Now, I want you to have some success, so I'm going to tell you how many angles are with each one. You get that? But I hope that you still go through the process and help yourself figure it out, because that's the hard part. This is only happens when we have a side angle. Any other way, you don't need to do this. Everybody got that? All right, number 10. Number 10 ends up being 0 triangle, so know it ahead of time, so you can prove it as you go through the work. Number 11 ends up being 1 triangle. I'll give you all the answers to all the sides and angles tomorrow, but it's one. Number 12, that one's gonna be 2. And we'll finish up with number 13 as just 1 triangle. I hope that gives you a little hint and gets you on the board of trying how to do this, okay? You guys were great today, thank you. That's it.